question was, one of the most important decisions any of you in the room will make is what company you decide to create or what company you decide to work for. How did I go about making that decision? What was it that attracted me to Microsoft, and why am I still doing it today? Is that a reasonable paraphrase of the question? I mentioned one of the most important elements. I fell in love with software. I just thought software was cool. When I was at Apple Computer, I worked on VisiCalc. VisiCalc was truly the first spreadsheet. And my job, because I was involved in mathematical modeling here at Stanford, my job was to build VisiCalc models. And to me, it was like a puzzle. You know, people would come to me with what they considered to be the toughest spreadsheet problem, the thing that they didn't think could be done on a spreadsheet. And I would frequently find myself staying up all night trying to figure out how I could manipulate VisiCalc to do this thing. A PERT chart was a great example. And when you come in the next morning and you show people that you could solve the problem that they didn't think could be solved, or show them how to do it, their eyes light up. And to me, that is still my same passion for software today. It's just that it's now much bigger. You know, tablet computers, pocket PC phones, what we're doing in business applications. It's still the magic of software. So for me, that's what grabbed me. And as I mentioned earlier, I recognized that Apple Computer was a great company, but they weren't about software as much as they were about hardware. And so I found a company that represented the thing that I was passionate about. And that's the most fundamental thing I could recommend to you. You know, making a lot of money is great. It provides a lot of advantages. But life's too short just to focus in on the money. And I think during the late 90s, sort of the dot-com bubble, we had too many people who were just focused on trying to make a lot of money. And not enough people who were truly following their passion for creating great things for people. And in the end, that sort of superficial motivation shows through, and I think it was part of, not certainly all of it, but part of the dot-com bust. So the number one thing I'd recommend to you is to find a company or find an area that really captures your enthusiasm, because life is much too short to do things that you don't love to do. Another thing, especially because you're Stanford students, and I truly believe this about the Stanford student body, it's just fabulous to be around smart, energetic people who like to get things done. I'll give you a little tip. If you're interviewing, especially if you ever interview with me, there are really three things that I look for. High energy, high horsepower, and get things done. It's by far the most important thing. I hope you have a certain set of experiences that are relevant, but more important to me than the experiences are somebody who gets passionate about what they do, somebody who has the IQ, the horsepower. It doesn't necessarily have to be, you know, sort of SAT horsepower or you know, IQ test horsepower. Street smarts horsepower is more important. Somebody who's willing to learn and learn quickly. Because for most of our business career, what we've been doing is things that have never been done before. So we make a lot of mistakes. And if you don't have people who quickly learn from their mistakes and adjust, it will lead to the failure of our business. And finally, I learned that I used to put the emphasis just on the first two, high energy, high horsepower. But I hired a couple of people where, wow, they worked a lot of hours, and they certainly seemed enthusiastic, but they just never got anything done. I'm sure you probably worked in some groups with folks like that. So I decided you got to have all three. You got to find people who have a track record of results, making things happen, getting them done. So that, you know, find a company where you have those kind of people, because I suspect you're that kind of person. And that will carry you for a lot of years. I still love software. I still love the people I'm working with. And that's really what makes the difference for me.